I just passed the road closure near the Pothole Trailhead, and instead of doing the Pothole Trail today, which I must say is very nice, I'm gonna go up Piru Creek and try to make it out to Falls Gorge. There's a lot of nice mustard grass here, and right out there you can see the headwaters to Lake Piru, and very beautiful place. But anyways, gonna keep going further up this way. When I was here 2 weeks ago, this was like almost all green, and now it's almost all vibrant yellow from that mustard. So pretty wild to see. This is the first spot you cross Piru Creek at along the road, and yeah, very beautiful. It's gonna get a lot more wild though after maybe 2 to 4 more crossings once I have to leave the road. I came up this way, and there is a campsite, maybe backpackers use it, with a fire pit. And yeah, the road just sort of seems to kind of stop. Maybe that's a trail. But what I think I'm gonna do is just keep going that way. And if it just becomes too overgrown, I'm gonna go down to Piru Creek and start bushwhacking up, and should be fun. So I've definitely left the road, left the rural section, and I'd say I'm in the wild section now. That being said, you know, there's gonna be a bit of wading here, I think. Probably also a bit of bushwhacking. Maybe there'll be some easy sections, but yeah, I think I got about maybe 3.5 to 4 miles of this before I get to Falls Gorge. The first kind of a narrows section. I wouldn't really call it narrows. Pretty nice. You got this sandstone conglomerate rock here. The water is getting deeper, I'd say. Has some tissue paper in my pockets I might take out. Yeah, put it in my hydration vest, if you want to even call it that. But yeah, anyways, yeah, definitely a little deeper here. I'll show y'all in a sec. Yeah, so about waist high at the worst, I'd say. To be honest, not too bad. I am kind of in one of the deeper sections, but you do have these nice walls, kind of narrows, but more or less one-sided. Anyways, yeah, these are not the Falls Gorge Narrows though. These are kind of just a really narrow section. This looks pretty nice here. Got a pretty deep water hole, I'd say. I did see a fish just there, although it might be hard to film. I know that Piru Creek has a lot of fish. At this point, it kind of looks like I might be following an old trail, maybe an animal trail, you know. So when I left the Narrows, I actually stayed in the creek for a bit, which, you know, would have slowed me down if I had remained there. But I decided to kind of come out, you know, just to speed things up a bit, because I don't want this to take super long. And yeah, sure enough, a trail, and it's actually not even all that bad, you know. Sometimes these creek beds, despite being easier than the bush, can be pretty overgrown. Right here is good evidence that people do make it out here, and they seem to be safe, at least playing it safe with the fire pit here, you know. Wouldn't want to cause a big wildfire, although you are pretty close to a water source. I'm back to a section that more or less requires me to wade, but not very deeply, right? Only ankles at the moment. Yeah, I'm hopeful that there'll be some nice little narrows right there. It looks like both sides of the canyon kind of close in on each other. So I'm a little before what looks like the narrows, and you do get deep ponds like this. There was some more back there. This is definitely, I don't know, maybe shoulder high, so I'm gonna avoid it. But I suspect you'd get some nice fish in here, probably. Very beautiful here. It's crazy how the water kind of carves these bowls out of the rock here, and provides these nice little pools for me to kind of wade in. This one definitely gets deeper. I'll show you. Yeah, about waist deep here, maybe a little more. So nothing crazy, but still pretty awesome in my opinion. I haven't been doing quite as much of the wading and stuff recently, so I feel like I'm gonna try to get back into that a little more, you know, wading, bushwhacking. Oh God, big fish. Oh, wow. What are those? Are those carp or? I don't know. Getting pretty close. All right. Yeah, I don't know, maybe I'm not the best with fish ID, to be honest, but yeah, definitely some sizable ones here. There you have it. You do get pretty big fish here in these small pools sometimes, you know, so might be a good fishing spot. Oh God, there's a bullfrog too. So I'm gonna try to catch the bullfrog. See how it goes. They are fast swimmers. But yeah, there we go. I got it. All right, bullfrog. These guys are invasive species, but you know, pretty big, pretty wild, and they got good frog legs. So, you know, what I may do at some point is come here, catch some bullfrogs, make some frog legs, but this guy's gonna get set free. Anyways, pretty wild, right? American bullfrog, very big, abundant in Piru Creek, and I did catch this guy now, but to be honest, they are easier to catch at night when you have your flashlight, because the flashlight kind of stuns them. So yeah, but yeah, when they do kind of think they're camouflaged, they may just stay in place. Aside from that, they can kind of swim and get into rocky holes pretty quickly. So yeah, I'm gonna get a few photos and some more video, I guess, and let him go. There he is, for comparison, right? Big American bullfrog for you, you know. So anyways, I'm gonna let him go shortly, but yeah, neat daytime catch. I don't normally catch him at day. We're gonna let this guy go in this big pond here that I haven't really murkied up. There's a bullfrog tadpole right there, actually, you know. But yeah, anyways, there you are. So these guys are really pretty cool, but they're invasive, and they'll eat the native pond turtles, the endangered arroyo toads, other critical species here. So it's it doesn't hurt to catch them and eat them if you have something to cook them with. I just saw another one of those bigger fish here. Not sure if I'll be able to get it on film, but I will try. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah, some big fish here. I'll show you how deep this is real quick. I'm kind of at my tippy toes now, you know, and it's up to my chest here. So definitely a deep pool. And I don't know if you saw that, but a big fish just sort of swam right by me. So definitely some nice fish here. At this point, I'm kind of in and out of the water. What the heck was that? Wait, what the? I'm really confused. I saw something extremely bizarre. Looked like maybe like a squirrel or something was taking a bath. I don't know if I got that on film. Anyways, yeah, I'm out of the narrow section for a bit. I don't know. What the heck was that? I don't often see things that confuse me to the extent that did. I thought it was like a frog waddling or something. Might have just been like a squirrel. It did look a little larger. I'm perplexed. I wonder if I got that on film at all. Yeah, very, very weird. Yeah, I don't know what that was. Now that I've kind of had a couple minutes to process that, I just want to kind of reiterate how strange that was. So I was just kind of like wandering along, trying to point out that there weren't really narrows anymore. You know, we're not really in narrows. We're just you know, some brush. But yeah, as I was doing that, I saw this weird thing kind of like crawling on its like front two legs, maybe, as if it were like a bullfrog that like couldn't jump or something. But then it got out of the water, you know, and kind of looked like best way to describe it maybe is like not a beaver, but like a tiny capybara like thing. And I don't really know if that, I don't think it was a squirrel. It could have been a squirrel, but it was a little too like wide in its proportions to be that like in the middle. And so now that I'm thinking about it, I know that there's like some sort of muskrat like thing. It's sort of similar to a beaver that at least lives out near the Sisquoc. We're quite far from the Sisquoc at the moment, but it could be one of those. I mean, I'd expect them to be better swimmers, but it was shallow. But yeah, anyways, whatever it was, I hadn't seen that. And it wasn't really like a mole, you know, like, I think like one of the times I came to Piru Creek, I saw a mole just like wander out, get some water, and I have some video, I'll put it here. But yeah, this wasn't really like that. It was it was odd to say the least. And I don't know how well the video captured that, but I'm gonna definitely try to zoom in and see if I can get a look at what that was again. Anyways, yeah, I may try to leave the creek for a bit to save some time. I've been kind of waiting for a bit here. Right as I leave the river, I see this little horny toad here. All right, here's that horny toad, you know, pretty cool. Definitely a spiky critter. Always kind of fun to find these guys. You know, I was talking about all the wildlife here, and right as I left the creek right there, I saw the horny toad. So yeah, anyways, cool little dude. I'm gonna set him down in a second after I get a few photos. Hard to keep track of everything, but yeah, Piru Creek's definitely a wild area. I've seen a lot of wildlife here. So there are 3 pretty big fish again. You know, let me know if you know what they are. Maybe carp, maybe bass, maybe something else. And I think I saw another one, although there might have just been 3. Oh, there's a trout. Okay. See if I can actually. Oh, there's the other big one. All right. Feels like every time I kind of get to a pool that's slightly deep, I'll see some of those big fish, and it's really consistent with like what I was seeing when I did Falls Gorge at night. You know, at least starting at night, very early morning when it was dark. It was like an aquarium, and I'm not even joking. Like, you know, that was neat, but you just wind up seeing a lot more fish like that at night, and you know, I think the light that I shine kind of confuses them. I just missed one of the better schools of fish that I have seen today, but there was, oh, there it is. Some other fish right there. Seems to be not too concerned about my presence. So I've seen a few spots like this already, but I don't want you to be mistaken. This is deep, definitely deeper than I am tall. So maybe at least like 6 or 7 feet or so, maybe even 10. I'm gonna do a quick little cold plunge here. Yeah, why not? Before I keep going upstream. Whew. Nice, yeah. It's cold, I would say. Definitely colder than Agua Blanca was 2 weeks ago, but it's definitely bearable, and it's warm today, so yeah. But yeah, anyways, very, very refreshing. Nice to do this, and yeah, now I'm gonna try to cross without getting everything wet. If I have to, though, I have enough waterproofing stuff. But yeah, anyways, this was nice to do very quickly. It was nice to take a dip there, and so far this has worked for crossing, although I did kind of get about chest deep, give or take, maybe a little less than that. But yeah, so far this looks pretty straightforward from here on out. So I don't really know where Falls Gorge is, if it's exactly there, but I am starting to see more big blocks of the conglomerate rock, and definitely what looks like a narrow canyon kind of that way. About to enter the gorge here, and all the cobbles in the river are this nice reddish conglomerate rock, you know, so pretty wild. It's all over the place here. As this section kind of narrows off, you expect more deep pools like this just due to the range of the area the water has kind of to disperse. But yeah, anyways, this is kind of deep here, not crazy, but yeah, I'll show you. Yeah, so about you know, stomach high perhaps there. I expect to maybe get to some deeper pools further up, but we'll see. Figured I'd film some of this. Another big fish. They're all over the place, you know. I can't get you all of them on video, as I've said maybe many times by now. But yeah, yeah, there's another one. I don't know if you saw it. Oh, maybe 2, maybe 1. But yeah, more deep water, more big fish, right? Not sure if you're seeing these. I hope you are. But yeah, anyways, gonna turn off the camera for a bit, but thought I'd just show y'all what the entrance of the narrow section looks like here. So here we get to some of the first really big canyon walls that define the narrows that make up Falls Gorge. And yeah, definitely another wonderful pool here. Then it gets pretty deep, and you can already kind of see the fish swimming, you know. So yeah, again, it's hard not to see fish here really, and Yeah, one of these times I should try to film them underwater. At this point, it's still kind of wide, but you can definitely see the narrows starting to close in. This section here is certainly a little more downstream than I ever made it last time when I came from above, but yeah, still pretty wild. So I'm gonna definitely get some video for y'all here and some photos for myself. Real nice here, you know. Canyon wall there, canyon wall here. About to get much more narrow, I think. You can just see how beautiful and crystal clear the water is here. You know, again, I've been getting distracted by all of the fish that I've been seeing. And at the moment, I'm not seeing any giant fish. But depending on how I edit this together, there may be a lot of like, ooh, fish, fish, you know, clips. And I've seen so many fish today that it just doesn't make sense to film them. So I keep seeing these bullfrogs kind of jump in the water, and I'll get this one for you. Oh, nope, not quite. Yep, there we go. All right, definitely got him. Yeah, all right, so again, there are bullfrogs. They are jumping in the water, kind of holding this guy awkwardly, but not actually too hard to catch. And yeah, likewise, a bunch of fish right down here, right where I caught the bullfrog. Okay, those big fish, honestly, they're everywhere. But yeah, definitely still lots of wildlife here. I'm gonna get a few little photographs of this guy and let him go. About to let this guy go, but yeah, second catch of the day, pretty nice. Again, yeah, one of these days I'm gonna go frogging up here, cook some frog legs, it'll be good. But for now, I'm gonna let this guy go in a few minutes after I get some photographs. All right, let's let this guy go. Yeah, all right. Again, definitely easier to see now, but when he was in there, he was pretty well camouflaged in that mud. So I'm gonna get my stuff and keep heading up that way. Should be fun. As far as the bullfrogs go, I've you know, seen quite a few today. Caught 2 of them, but as I mentioned before, if you come here at night, you'll see a lot of them. They definitely kind of come out and get all territorial. But yeah, anyways, I've seen more of these big fish here swimming in these ponds than I think I've ever really seen here, even compared to last time I was in the upper sections in September. So fish are all over. But yeah, anyways, we're in this crazy conglomerate section now with all these big cobbles. We'll have to figure out how to make my way through this. There is kind of a waterfall here. This isn't the Falls Gorge waterfall, but I might try to make it in there. Looks a little kind of funky from this angle, but perhaps around that way. Yeah, looks like a nice spot though. Wow, this is a really nice pool actually, and these waterfalls are some of the best I think I've found this year. I haven't been doing a lot of waterfall hunting, but yeah, pretty wild, especially for Piru Creek. I'm gonna do a little cold plunge here. Anyways, yeah, maybe even like swimming this some, who knows? Cold plunge, ready? 1, 2, and 3. Woo! That is wonderful. Yeah, this is definitely gonna be, I assume, flowing more than the Falls Gorge waterfall is. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna set this down and then rinse my head off real quick if I can in the waterfall. This is just such a nice pool, you know. It's not late in the year, but it's you know, we're not gonna get much more rain, I assume. And we didn't have a very wet year, so just finding this really made my waterfall season feel a lot better. All right. Yeah, might be a little deep for me to film this. I don't have my waterproof case. I'll do one more cold plunge and then you know, do it on my own. Maybe I can, who knows? I don't know. Let's try it, ready? Woo! Woohoo! Yeah! All right, that's nice. Yeah, this is, I'd say this is probably the best one I think I've found that's new this year. I haven't really been looking for a bunch of waterfalls, but you know, there were some nice ones out near Lytle Creek. Yeah, mostly less looking for waterfalls this year. Different kind of vibe. So yeah, anyways, very nice. I'm gonna quit filming. I worry I'm a little too blurry for YouTube. Once again, that water hole is phenomenal. And just so you're aware, you might be able to kind of climb over there. But what I had to do is sort of go through this, and it is a little deep, so I left quite a few things just over there, like my camelback. You know, it has some food in it, some tissue paper, stuff like that. I want to avoid getting that wet if I can. But yeah, anyways, phenomenal spot. And I don't know if the photos will do justice. I think the videos certainly will. But yeah, I'm happy that I stumbled upon that. And I would have seen it last year if I had just gone a little further, but that route was actually, I would say, a little more challenging than this one's gonna be. This has to be quite a dynamic area. You know, that rock just doesn't look super stable. Yeah, I'd assume it would take quite a bit of weight to really move it. Yeah, anyways, yeah, getting closer to the real narrows section where it really narrows off, and still lots of beautiful pools, and as I said before, some nice springs, right? Lots of ferns. Actually, look, okay, these are one of the native orchids. They're like river orchids or something. I forget the name. I'll put the name up there. But yeah, native orchids to the area. Let's go check this spring out a little bit. So yeah, this is definitely one of those springs where you can see the water dropping. Quite a bit of algae here. And yeah, anyways, very cool spot, and looking forward to more good stuff. All right, I am victorious. Right there is the Falls Gorge waterfall, and it's not flowing like an insane amount, but it's flowing a lot more than it was last time. So yeah, anyways, these narrows are really beautiful. I'm gonna get some video for y'all of the waterfall and like the lower sections of these narrows. Here we go, you know, the Falls Gorge waterfall, right? So I was here in September, you know, and we did get a lot of rain in 2024, but by September, definitely too dry to really see this flowing much. And right now, you know, I've seen crazier videos of this waterfall, but yeah, it's certainly flowing a lot more than I saw it last time. So I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna get a few photographs here and then maybe take a little dip in the waterfall. There should be a little more water pressure this time, right? All right, I don't know how that worked out, but I think the water actually hit the phone, paused it. So I don't have my waterproof case now, but let's do round 2 real quick. Woohoo! All right, very fast, but very, very enjoyable, quite satisfying, you know. And yeah, I'm gonna do a longer shower off camera, you know, but yeah, this is nice to see, and I'm very happy to enjoy this. Once again, I am very happy to see Falls Gorge flowing like this. It did take a bit of effort, not as much as I guess coming from Frenchman's Flats, but it did take some effort to get here. Definitely more tractable to do this as a day trip, but yeah, anyways, wonderful waterfall. Very happy, very, very happy. And yeah, I'm gonna chill here for a bit, grab some lunch, and then make my way back down to Piru, or you know, the Pothole Trailhead near Lake Piru. On the menu, we got an orange, avocado chips, and some trail mix that has a bunch of melted chocolate chips in it. So should be phenomenal. Second bite, but for tradition, avocado and chips. Good to get some lunch. Great to see that waterfall, you know, and definitely a lot better to see it flowing now than it was, you know, a couple months ago. What the heck? Oh my God. Okay, sorry. This is yeah, I saw like this giant like black catfish, right? Or whatever that was. Yeah, one of you fish experts gotta let me know. And it was just hanging out there. It's like the biggest fish I've seen today, even with all those other big fish. I have good news. I do see my first pond turtle of the day. However, basking right there, he may be hard to catch, you know, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, he already went down in the water. This is pretty neat, you know, this structure here. Looks like it's been barred off with this razor wire. Not gonna try to go in, but yeah, I actually had heard of this at one point. I think I saw it in someone's video, but I don't know much about it. So anyone maybe give me some information. Looks like it's got a thermometer there, Fahrenheit and Celsius. That seems a little hot, but maybe that's about right. You know, there's also, you know, a little chimney, some other cool stuff here. So yeah, need a cabin. I've known about this, but I don't know what it is. So yeah, someone should let me know if you know. So pretty neat structure, you know. I didn't see this on the way coming up because I sort of stuck to the creek, but there does seem to be a little bit of a trail here. Maybe an animal trail, maybe this is the trail that the backpackers use. But that being said, I am actually still quite close to Falls Gorge, right? You can see those brown mountain there. That's kind of where that conglomerate rock is. So I'm absolutely quite far from the area with all the, you know, private property easements. Yeah, that being said, I'm gonna try to maybe follow this trail a little bit more to the best of my ability, but not stray too far away from the creek. So I think it'll save some time, but I don't want to be out in the middle of nowhere. You know, don't want to detour too far from Piru. I am wading again, but definitely enjoying myself. And I gotta say, Piru Creek is as beautiful as it ever is. So definitely happy I decided to do this today, and looking forward to see what else I find on my way back. I've been getting less footage of them, but there are a bunch of these you know, tiny frogs here. There's one, and there's another hopping around. But yeah, these guys are kind of all over too. So good stuff. I've been making pretty good time back. You know, I'm getting to the some of the earlier narrows, so not as wild as Falls Gorge, but still quite beautiful. And yeah, I don't know how much it is in distance, but hopefully, you know, pretty soon I'll get to that fire road, whatever it is, and then I'll be able to jog back, and that'll save me time. But anyways, yeah, I'm just trying to make good time, like I said, but also take it all in, you know, beautiful area. Yeah, it's great to see the sun on this canyon wall here. Definitely more in the dark this morning, but yeah, this is a beautiful section once again. And yeah, I think I'm getting pretty close to the road, as I mentioned before. One last clip of Lake Piru in the distance before I sign off, but just thought I'd say lots of nice mustard and lupin. And yeah, I parked right over there, so I should be there in a minute or two.